Summer is wildfire season. Now, this is a libertarian show, but even many libertarians say fighting fires is one of the few things that government must do. Who's going to do it if not government? Well, private companies, that's who. You probably don't know that nearly half the people the federal government uses to fight wildfires work for private companies. It's a myth that firefighting must be done by governments. In some parts of America, if your house catches fire, it's a private business that'll come to put it out. Hugh Futrell is assistant chief of a privately run fire department in Georgia. So how does this work? The house catches fire, you put it out, and then you send them a bill?
It can work that way, but generally folks pay us ahead of time. They subscribe for our services. This helps lower their insurance rates.
The insurance company, when they buy homeowners insurance, often says you better get covered.
Yes, and that helps lower their insurance rate, which means they save money. And in fact, the amount of money they save on their insurance actually pays for the subscription fee, plus they get to pocket some.
Sometimes, but not always, but sometimes.
Almost always.
Your fees are about, if your house is worth $100,000, about $100 per year. If it's a $300,000 house, $320 per year.
Yep.
And is that cheaper than what other people pay in taxes for their fire department?
Yes, it is cheaper. And when you look at our overall budget for doing 3 services, fire, EMS, and security, we're lots cheaper than most of the government.
Why? How can you be cheaper for the same work?
It comes in being efficient with what you do and watching how you spend your money and stuff. And our board of directors are a bunch of great guys who have business experience, and that really helps and saves a lot of money for folks.
You often pay less for a fire truck.
Yes, we do. And I've talked with a variety of fire chiefs across the nation, and one that I talked with, I was just asking him some simple questions about what are you paying for fire trucks and blah, 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 blah. And the next thing I know, he's telling me, well, we pay $500,000 for our fire trucks. And I went, we don't pay that much. We only pay about $250,000.
What's the difference?
The difference was about an extra 4 to 6 inches on the length of the cab of the truck where the firefighters ride, and air ride seats. And I'm thinking, you're riding 5 miles to a fire maybe at the most for 5 or 10 minutes, and then turning around and riding back, and you're paying twice what I'm paying. I could have bought 2 fire trucks for the price of his one.
And most of the people subscribe. They pay your fee.
Yes.
The people who don't, you don't just stiff them. You put the fire out and send them a bill.
That's right.
And most of them pay?
Yes. And we're under no legal obligation to respond, but we do respond simply because we want to help people. We're firefighters. We want to do what's right. Our EMS crews, the whole 9 yards, we want to get in there and help people. So we do, and then we go through a billing company who actually sends them the bill. And unfortunately, that can literally be tens of thousands of dollars depending on the amount of time and hours and what's involved.
So it's smarter to pay up front.
It's much smarter. It's cheap. It lowers your insurance rates. It helps you out.
And what else do you do that's more efficient than government departments?
Well, mostly it's the fact that we're very entrepreneurial. We are open to ideas as to how we can expand our services. We had a local company who wanted us to provide 3 levels of service for them: a first response fire, a first response medical, and a security service. And we talked with them a little bit, got their ideas of what they wanted. We left that meeting, got in our car, started heading back to our headquarters and went, how are we going to do the security end of it? Fire and EMS we do.
Hadn't done that before.
How are we going to do that? And we started thinking it over. And in less than a month, we were able to come back to them with a plan saying, this is what it will cost, we can do it. And they chose to contract with us.
And a government department?
The problem they run into is it's got to go usually before a council or a commission or an aldermanic body. They might take 2 or 3 months to decide whether or not they even want to consider it. Then when they do, they
have no incentive to do more work where they might make more money.
Right. And we're a nonprofit. We're not doing this.
There are for-profit private departments.
There are for-profits out there, but we are a nonprofit. We have volunteers. We have about 140, and that saves the taxpayer huge amounts of money.
You may not know that most firemen in America are volunteers now.
They are. About, I believe the National Fire Protection Association has
69%.
Has it about 69% across the nation.
But your guys volunteer because they like to help people?
They love helping people. they're in it for that reason alone.
Chief, thank you very much. Coming